So we're just off the road between Český Těšín and Karviná, not too far from Ostrava. And we're in this kind of industrial area where there's a lot of mining going on and the steel mill back in Třinec not too far away. But here, there's these little fish ponds, these lakes around, with the train tracks just in the distance going between the cities. And it's another thing I really like about this country, even in this industrialized region. You look off the road and you see something out there, whether it's these lakes or, more particularly, what I'm out here for is the Church of St. Barbora. An old church that's been boarded up and closed down, but you just see it in the distance when you're driving. Just the steeple and the cross peeking out over the horizon between all this. And that's what I just find fascinating. You just stop where you think there's nothing. Just keep your eyes open and you find something beautiful somewhere. So let's go see it. Try not to fall in the lake. The village of Louky, first mentioned in a document in 1450, owed its prosperity to its fortunate position between other important towns nearby, and the inhabitants engaged mostly in fish farming in all these ponds I am surrounded by, and which are now weekend getaway cabins. In the past, the majority of the locals were Polish-speaking, and the area was also traditionally inhabited by Silesian Laks, speaking Chechen Silesian. Throughout the period of the World Wars, the region was swapped between Czechoslovakia, Poland, Nazi Germany, then back to Czechoslovakia again after the end of World War II. There isn't much on the history of the Church of St. Barbora, though records mention a wooden church in 1654. Because the Olza River, right here on the border between Czech Republic and Poland, frequently flooded the area, this newer incarnation of the church was built in 1818. Sadly, Louky, the village in which the ponds and church are a part of, is a classic example of the devastation brought about by the coal mining here. The center of the village was originally located north of today's settlement. But during the communist era, extensive mining polluted the waters, degraded the farmland, and undermined the area. As a result, almost all the houses started sinking into the ground, and the village was eventually demolished. Today, only the Church of St. Barbora remains, with the last services being held in 1995 before the ground underneath became too unstable. It is only a matter of time before this too is gone. However, in recent times, the entire area has gone through a major cleanup. From Ostrava to Třinec to Katowice in Poland, once an area formerly known for its heavy industry and all the problems that came with that, these places have seen tighter regulations, rejuvenation of forests and land, cleaning of the groundwaters, soils, and architecture, with many of the old mines and factories becoming amazing tourist destinations, displaying both the pride of the industry as well as the harm it once caused, and, hopefully, the lessons learned. It is understandable why Silesia once had a lesser reputation in the past, but with all the changes over the past few decades and the staunch pride of many of the inhabitants of these lands to better their surroundings, I personally feel the reputation is unfair these days. There is so much up here that nature has reclaimed. So many mountain trails, historic towns, quaint villages and castle walls. Even the steel mills have their charm now. And though rough to some, I find that the dialect here along the border has its own particular character that puts a smile on my face. Probably because it is usually peppered with swear words. But that's just me. Thank you all so very much for watching. As you may not know, AI has rapidly taken away the livelihood of voiceover artists such as myself, as well as many other professions. And though I see a lot of good in the new technology, it has led to a situation where I must reinvent myself to make a living. I enjoy making these travel videos, and with the aim of one day to be picked up by local municipalities to film, edit, produce, and show off all the more unknown places around the Czech Republic to a wider audience. Your support on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, or anywhere else is instrumental in granting me the time and ability that it takes to research locations and put these short clips together. And it allows me to support myself as a self-employed, grumpy old man as I work towards this goal. Any help is much appreciated. Now, get off my lawn, you bloody kids!